Senator, obviously things have escalated to the point right now where the attack, or at least a stage part of it, seems to be on. What do you think?
Well, there's no doubt that Israel's going to have to go on the ground. I think they've said that publicly at some point, because the goal here is to completely dismantle the ability of Hamas to ever again do anything close to what we saw them do just a week ago. Now, this is a group that openly says that. I think that we need to remind people as often as we can, this is not a group fighting because they want to govern Gaza or because they simply want a country. This is a group that's fighting because their stated purpose is to drive every Jew out of the region and then to set up a fundamentalist Islamic state from the Mediterranean Sea that reaches all the way to the Jordan River, or what we know today as Israel. So they want to drive every Jew out and they want to take over the whole place. And I think it's a bad idea to begin with to have any organization that slaughters babies the way they did to be in charge of any land, much less a whole country. But beyond it, Israel is bordered with them. That's their neighbor, and across the way there in Gaza. That's unsustainable. No nation on earth would tolerate that. That group needs to be dismantled, and the only way to do it is to go in on the ground. Now, sadly, this is a group that every time they do these things, then they run off, they hide in their little tunnels, and they hide behind civilians, and then they get the world to condemn Israel when Israel strikes back. But this time has to be different. And now, all that said, it's not going to be easy. This is going to be incredibly difficult, painful for everyone involved, including Israel. And there's great danger. This is a grave time. I think there are a lot of factors at play, including the risk of a broader regional conflict that are real, unpredictable, and in some ways very volatile. And it's not the kind of thing we should be cheering for and trying to prevent. But Israel needs to do what it needs to do, and America needs to help them.
You know, as Senator, you were pretty blunt about what should happen to Hamas. You said they should be wiped out. That immediately got you taken off and censored on YouTube, but I was noticing what remained on YouTube were sometimes horrendous things Hamas has been saying about whether Israel should be wiped off the face of the map. What do you think of that pretty clear double standard?
You know, I think we've gotten used to it, unfortunately. These are companies that sort of selectively choose what they want to censor or not censor, and take down and not take down. But the message isn't going to change. What I got censored for, apparently, was saying that Hamas was a group of savages. Well, I don't know any other word. Maybe there's a better word, but I don't know any other word to describe an organization, a group of people that would go in and slaughter a bunch of babies, kill a bunch of teenage girls in the desert. Understand, they did not attack IDF soldiers. They went after a concert. They went after settlements in which people had barely woken up or were still in their beds. They went after little children. They raped teenage girls. They abducted, including senior citizens, and took them back with them. What other word in the English language describes these people? And how could any nation on earth be told, you have to somehow not just coexist with that group, but figure out a way to work an agreement with them? Those guys don't want an agreement. I don't understand why we continue to not believe and take these guys at their word when they say that their goal is to drive every Jew out of the Middle East. Why don't we believe them when they say it, especially after what they did? So Israel has to dismantle them. But it's not going to be easy. As I said, this is not some surgical, simple campaign that's going to be over in 5 days. And more importantly, it also has tied to it the real possibility that it could trigger, depending how it goes, an attack from the north, from Hezbollah, perhaps Hamas elements operating out of the West Bank as well, and of course Iran as the puppet master behind all of it.
Now, we're learning from Reuters, Senator, that Russia is proposing a UN Security Council resolution on Israel and Gaza to call for the immediate humanitarian ceasefire. What do you think of that?
Well, it doesn't surprise me. Russia has two angles here. The first angle is they cooperate and work with all these groups in the region in order to amplify their own importance in the world, or at least their attempted importance. The second is they blame America for every source of instability in the region. So they play this double game. And that's not going to go anywhere. I hope the U.S., I imagine the U.S. will veto any effort to do so. Look, at the end of the day, I wish there wasn't a single civilian in Gaza. I think the Israelis wished so as well. But every civilian death and casualty in Gaza is 100% the responsibility of Hamas, because they are hiding behind them. They have put those people as shields in front of them. The Israelis have given ample warning and have been doing so for days about civilians leaving. We've seen reporting today, and I actually pointed to this 3 days ago, where Hamas was messaging residents of Gaza not to leave. They want those people to stay. They want those people to die, because they want the New York Times and the Washington Post and the global press and Western elites to all put pressure on Israel to stop, so Hamas can survive and a few months or years from now come back and slaughter more Jews. That's not going to happen again. It cannot happen again.